What up, everybody? You're watching Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. In today's video, we're going to recap the win yesterday against the Los Angeles Clippers. Loved the way the Knicks played yesterday, especially in that second half. But I want to spend the first half of today's shows just giving Mitchell Robinson his flowers. What he has done to start this season has been absolutely incredible, and he has been the X factor for this Knicks team. I think there's been two players that have taken a huge leap from last year through the first 7 games. That's Mitchell Robinson and R.J. Barrett. We'll talk about R.J. Barrett tomorrow. Don't worry, I'm not going to forget about him. But I got to give some praise to Mitchell Robinson, as I have been critical of his play as well. I always wondered if a center who does not have any sort of offensive game could be a piece on a winning team. And I'll tell you this much. Mitchell Robinson is one of the best centers in the NBA. He's the best offensive rebounder in this league, and he's one of the best rim protectors in the league as well. Hats off to Mitchell Robinson. Let's break down what he's done so far this year. He just continues to stuff the stat sheet. Didn't have that big of a stat game against the Boston Celtics to start the season, but what about against Atlanta? 13 rebounds, 6 of which were offensive. I'm going to start calling this stat a stock. It's steals and blocks combined. 8 stocks for Mitchell Robinson against Atlanta. He was all over the floor. Against New Orleans, 15 rebounds, 10 offensive, 3 stocks. Against Cleveland, they won that game. Didn't have that much of a stat type of night. What about the next night against Cleveland? 16 rebounds, 8 offensive. Then what about him against Milwaukee, one of the biggest teams in the NBA? 15 rebounds, 6 offensive. And then what about him against the Clippers last night? He was the most dominant player on the floor. 15 rebounds, 9 offensive, and 4 steals and blocks. Think about this. Mitchell Robinson is pulling down the offensive rebound on 20.9% of the Knicks' missed shots. Think about that like this. In 1 in every 5 missed shot, when Mitchell Robinson is on the floor, he's coming up with the offensive rebound. It's incredible. What about this? 7 teams have an offensive rebound rate that is lower than Mitchell Robinson. He's also averaging 2 more offensive rebounds than the number 2 offensive rebounder in the National Basketball Association. What Mitchell Robinson has done this year has showed you that he could be a winning player. It's generational, to be honest with you. We haven't seen a player put up these type of rebounding numbers, specifically offensive rebounding numbers, since Dennis Rodman. I'll tell you about a stat from Dennis Rodman in a second, but think about this. Not only does Mitchell Robinson have a higher offensive rebound percentage and percentile than a lot of NBA teams, he has more offensive rebounds than 3 teams in the NBA by himself. Mitchell Robinson has 45 offensive rebounds this year. The Rockets have 45, their whole team. The Milwaukee Bucks have 43. And they've got Giannis, they've got Brook Lopez, they've got Bobby Portis. And the Washington Wizards have 43. The fact that Mitchell Robinson has more offensive rebounds than a couple teams in the NBA is crazy. But it's not just that. This comes from Tommy Beer, one of the best follows on Knicks Twitter. Per Basketball Reference, Mitchell Robinson is just the 5th player in NBA history with 45-plus offensive rebounds over the first 7 games of the season. The rest of the list, pretty good players. Moses Malone, you might have heard of him. Dennis Rodman, you might have heard of him. Andre Drummond, and Jason Williams. What he is doing is incredible. It's having a direct correlation to the Knicks and their success on offense. The Knicks have not shot the ball well this year. They're not much of an efficient offense, to be honest with you. And that's why having Mitchell Robinson be the best offensive rebounder in the league since 1994 is going to help this team out. Can he keep it up? Listen to this. If Mitchell Robinson keeps this pace up, he will break Dennis Rodman's single-season record for offensive rebound rate, which was 20.8, which was set in 1994. It is incredible what he is doing, man. I love seeing the growth, but it's not just the growth on the boards. It's not just his growth as a defender. It's the growth in between the years. He is a high IQ player. When he came into the NBA, fresh out of high school, didn't go to Western Kentucky. Pretty sure it was Western Kentucky. Could be wrong about that. But he could not stay on the floor. He was consistently in foul trouble. He averaged 5.7 fouls per game in 2018. You only get 6. Got better, 4.9. Then got better, 3.6. And now he's averaging just 2.6 fouls per game. The development, the growth. Scott Perry, former GM of the New York Knicks, said the player he is most proud of in his NBA career from the development, from the time he entered the league to where he is now, is Mitchell Robinson. And I am extremely proud of him as well. Love the development, love what he's doing for this team. Still a great shot blocker. Needs to be more of a lob threat, and that falls on your point guard. I want Jalen Brunson to stay after practice and just throw 1,000 lobs to Mitchell Robinson. All you got to do, put it at the top of the square. The Blockness Monster is going to go get it. Show Mitchell Robinson some love, the X factor of the season so far. Type those 23s in the comment section for Big Mitch. Money Mitch, Bag Man Mitch. Shout out to him. He's earning it, and he's honestly underpaid at this point. Type those 23s. We're going to recap the win from last night over the Los Angeles Clippers. But first, I got to give a huge shout out to today's sponsor, Waterboy. Go to waterboy.com/chatsports, and they're going to hook you up with 15% off your first order. With the holiday season approaching, our sponsor, Waterboy, is here to help you prepare for those nasty holiday hangovers. There's nothing worse than feeling like the Grinch while everyone else in the family is rocking around the Christmas tree. Waterboy is a hydration powder scientifically formulated to cut your hangover time in half. There are other hydration packets on the market, but nothing comes anywhere close to fighting those Sunday scaries like Waterboy. With zero sugar and over 3 times the electrolytes of Liquid IV, your hangover will stand no chance. And it's not just for you. Waterboy's hangover recovery formula makes a thoughtful stocking stuffer or a fantastic gift for your loved ones. Show them you care about their well-being this holiday season. Get 15% off by going to waterboy.com/chat. Sports. What I love about it most, though, is the taste. A lot of these other hydration formula packets, they don't taste good. This one does. I'm a huge fan of all of the flavors they have, and I think you guys are going to like them as well. Hundreds of thousands of people already trust Waterboy as their hangover cure. It's time to stop dealing with that anxiety alone. For a limited time, Knicks Now listeners get an exclusive 15% off when you go to waterboy.com/chatsports. That's waterboy.com/chatsports. It's time to hydrate this holiday season. Mitch was exceptional last night against the Clippers. 13 rebounds, 15 blocks, multiple steals, 13 points, 10 shot attempts. They were rewarding the big fella, as you should. If the big fella's going to play defense like he does, attack the glass like he does, feed him. Another player I'm so proud of is R.J. Barrett. I have been very critical of R.J. Barrett. And you know what? I think most of it has been fair. But he's making me shut up, and there's nothing more that I want to do than shut up. Because I know the best way for the Knicks and the fastest way for the Knicks to get back to being a legit contender in the Eastern Conference, they need R.J. Barrett to be a star. And he's been Star J to start this season. 26, 6, and 4, 9 of 16 from the field. It's the three-point shooting and the shooting from the free throw line that's impressed me the most. If you've noticed, he's gone from shooting the ball above his head to here to he's more so moved into that shoulder pocket, keeping that left arm straight, way more repeatable motion. Big-time off-season, I would say, switch, and it's really paying off. Julius Randle also had his best game of the season. He was good, and the Knicks need him to be good. 27 and 10. 9 of 21 from the field, 3 of 8 from downtown. Started to get in a rhythm, started to look to be in a groove, started to look comfortable out there. This Knicks team's not going anywhere as long as 30's on the roster and he doesn't play well. The Knicks need him to continue this up. Good to see Julius play well. Still think they should trade him. Jalen Brunson had his worst game ever. Maybe his worst game as an NBA player. Definitely with the Knicks. But the thing is, you were able to win the game when Jalen Brunson had a clunker, and you were able to win by 15 points. That's a big, big step in the right direction. Clippers are no slouch either. Proud of the way that this team battled, and I want Jalen Brunson to pick it up. Just take care of the ball. I know you want to do everything by yourself on offense sometimes. It's okay. Be a point guard. Distribute. Take care of the ball. Donte DiVincenzo had his first moments as a New York Knick at Madison Square Garden. What he did to start that fourth quarter, to end that third quarter, all over the floor, hitting threes, getting steals, grabbing rebounds. He was exceptional. And his Villanova buddy was there in his hip pocket helping him get the dub. You probably watched that game and you're like, Josh Hart really didn't do anything. And then New York's like, oh shit, he's got 10 points, 7 assists. He was the guy that was moving the ball. He was being the facilitator. He was finding the open man. Had a couple of buckets in the fast break, got others involved, played good defense. Just a classic Josh Hart game. James Harden played his first game for the Clippers last night, and he was pretty good, to be honest with you, but it just wasn't enough. 17 points, 6 assists. Had a couple of step-back mid-range jumpers start that game, but overall, I thought the Knicks did a really good job on the big three for the Clippers. Paul George did not play well whatsoever. Could not buy a bucket. Knicks were all over his case. Kawhi Leonard didn't play well. The Knicks just outplayed him. It was a tie game, I believe, at half, or right around tied. And then in that third quarter, man, the Knicks took off. The defense stepped up. The offense took off. It was a good win, and I can't wait to see what Victor Wembanyama is going to do against the Knicks on Wednesday night. We'll be live on the channel Wednesday night for a watch party, so subscribe, turn your notifications on, and we'll see you then. Sub for New York Knicks Dubs.